Good deep breath. Come on.
Fucking way! That happened! That was fucking amazing! I'm sorry!
Alright, maybe we should capture this energy. Yeah.
Holy shit! Was that recording? Was that filming?
Catfish, you just assaulted Todd Lyons.
I apologize.
Wait. There's footage.
Oh, we got the footage of it.
Yeah.
All right, let's start this motherfucker.
I just realized.
Skibbity bop a doo bop a dee bop ba the come up TV. What just happened?
You flicked a beer bottle cap into the air.
I was opening a beer bottle.
You're right, and collided with our guest's eyeball, and now he has to get reconstructive eyeball surgery, and it's going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars.
It's going to cost to come up tens of thousands of dollars because I'm an employee.
I do not know that our insurance policy covers miscellaneous
this happened on
retina damage. Yeah,
this happened. You're a tough guy. So
I'm going to talk to that lawyer I saw earlier.
Oh yeah,
right.
he's good.
He's good. Yeah, he's gotten out of a lot
somebody
of issues.
yeah. I can speak very highly of him. So our guest today is Todd Lyons.
TL. Ohio.
Unprecedented BMX legend. Give it a little round of applause. Just me and Catfish. So this is, I think you're probably going to be taking the most of the lead on this one, correct? Because to me, Todd Lyons, I come into my knowledge of him much later in his career. He's wearing Jinkos. He's hopping over porta potties. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But for you, what was your first impression of him before he starts telling us about his own first impression of himself?
I'm so glad because a lot of times we have, I don't want to say older guys on the show, but more pioneers of BMX. I have very vivid memories of it, and a lot of times I tell my stories, and people are like, well, he might be embellishing a little bit. But Todd is one of those guys that has his entire life documented. This has been well known for years and years, even before. This is the internet. This is the BMX internet right
Our
here.
YouTube viewers will notice this stack of notebooks here that are filled with apparently everything you've ever done.
Yeah, fuck it.
Well, let's talk about the journaling process just to start. At what point in your life did you begin doing this? And can we talk about the changes that have taken place within the journaling over the years?
Yeah, no changes, man. I kept it the same. Fucking 26 years. 1989, January 1st, 1989. I started writing.
And at what age was that?
17.
Okay, so
17, yeah. 19.
Do you remember who gave you the idea to do this?
My mom.
Okay.
I think because I started traveling because when I was 15, I won the world championships. When I was
No big deal. No big deal.
I got to work my way into it.
Well, when you was 15, Catfish masturbated for the first time.
That's very true. Yeah. 13.
Won the world championships in Orlando, Florida when I was 15.
So your mom knew that you were doing something important that you should remember.
I'm leading up. Shut it down.
Sorry.
And then the next year, when I was 16, I went to Santiago, Chile, and won the world championships again. And then the next year I went to Australia, But anyway, so I started traveling a lot, and my mom was like, "Yo, you should really start documenting this stuff. You should write it down." And I just flipped a switch, and January 1st, actually, back it up, 1987, I kept a little bit of a journal, but not really like a day by day or whatever. There's just a little bit of highlights. But January 1st, 1989 was just like this, and I wrote exactly what I did all day, and I did it January 2nd, January 3rd, January 4th. For 26 motherfucking years.
Damn.
So when you talk about exactly what you did that day, does it include your meals? Does it include what time you woke up in the morning?
No, it includes some wild shit, but no, it's more like just.
Notable highlights.
Yeah, I brought some shit. I'll read some whatever. You know what I'm saying? But no, exactly. Like, me and Lawan went riding down on Main Street in Upper Arlington. We learned grinds on my bully bash. I got a bash guard bike, and blah blah or whatever. I got. I talked with R.L. Osborne on the phone today. He's going to sponsor me for Bully. Like pretty notable stuff. Like the first day I moved to California. Moved to the POW house to. It's
sex stuff.
There's some.
Yeah, does it go in depth into things that you would not be able to talk about publicly?
Oh yeah, by all means.
Really?
Yeah.
You never kept a journal?
Yeah, not really.
I definitely did. And it was very, very similar like that. I didn't do it as much. I stopped doing it once I started smoking weed in college. That went out the window. But what I remember keeping it in, there would be sex things, and they like circle certain things. And as soon as I opened yours, I was like, oh,
you saw the HJ or the HS, and you thought it was an HJ for hand job, but HS was had sex.
Oh,
okay. He was reading a little bit. He's like, oh, you got a hand job? He's like, you got a hand job in the red light district? I was like, no, it's the red light district in Amsterdam. You don't a hand drop there.
No, you got
$27.
You have to be really broke, yeah. But so, do you? Is the journal something you ever worried about your wife seeing at a certain point in your life?
No, she knows I've been married for a few years, whatever now, and we had a kid. She knows she don't give a crap.
But when you were younger, was this like your treasure? Like you would just
I had them locked up. I mean, look, like
they have written on the cover.
Please send it here.
Send it here. Here's
my address.
That's like my underwear when I was when I was 4.
Yeah, I moved out of there in 1990 or whatever. But no, yeah, I had one girlfriend that actually lived with me back 15 years ago now, or whatever, and she wanted to read every single one of them. I was like, fuck it, okay, read them. And I went to some trip or whatever. And I came home and there was, granted, all these note cards are my own note cards, for my own funny stuff. Mm-hmm. But she put note cards in there, stuff to talk to me about. I'm like, this is fucking 10 years, 15 years before I met you.
But what were the kind of things that she wanted to call you out on?
I don't know, some shady stuff.
What's this HS in Amsterdam? See, I like $27.
I like the idea of all the sex stuff being like coded so that nobody really knows what it's about. That's pretty smart. Yeah.
There's a B circle, the HJ circle, HS circle, X circle,
wow.
something.
Adam awesome. Adams would be like BMFFMMM, like bi-male, four-way.
Yeah,
Adam is bisexual, by the way.
You are bisexual.
No. To be able to look back, I'm the only weirdo and I don't know. I know some wild people or whatever, but I don't know anyone in my life that I've ever met that have said, I kept a daily journal of every single motherfucking year of my life for 25 plus years.
Do you think that it helps you like crazy with going back and like finding memories that you would totally forget otherwise? Like,
totally.
Can you look at a day from 20 years ago and not remember anything, or do you look through them enough that you kind of remember stuff?
I used to be able to say like, yo, I was like, I'll read back and it all clicks, But that was 15 years ago, whatever.
Right.
Now I'm looking back on shit from 26 years ago. And it doesn't all click,
Right.
From girls to locations to guys I was hanging out with to places I've been.
Because you think everything is so important in the moment, but then it fades away, and you just the human memory is like insanely flawed, and we give it way too much credit.
Yeah, but that's why I got the backup.
That's what you got the backup.
It's gotta be awesome too for all of your homies that might not remember that stuff, where you can actually go back and show them this is how it was.
Just recently, like there was, the whole fucking social media blowing up,
Right. Yeah.
I'm so close to and I've just been too goddamn busy, whatever. But I'm so close to having John Paul Rogers with Collateral BMX was doing Wildman Wednesdays for a while.
Right.
But I'm close to doing Wildman Mondays or some shit, and taking photo and like the actual journal entry and posting the journal entry and then a little write up of what exactly happened.
I just had the $1 million idea. I know you do. Is you pitch this as a TV show and you get literally, and you take 10 or 15 of your best stories and then you get illustrators to cartoonize some of your stories. They make TL with the crazy big hair, like your Huffy, like the Huffy stickers. That would be hilarious.
That was a pretty good idea.
All right,
we'll talk about it.
One more question about the journals is: have you ever considered starting to keep track of this stuff in your phone instead of the physical journal?
Well, so I started in '89, January 1st, '89. Right. Every single motherfucking day, never miss a day, except when I'd fly to Asia or fly to Australia or something. When I'd leave on a
Thursday,
Sunday night and I get there Monday morning,
right.
So that's the only blanks in there, and it's a blank that's a needed blank.
Yeah,
right.
But anyway, never missed a day, and sometimes I'd be behind. I wouldn't write every single night, but I'd be behind maybe a few days or whatever. But I'd always write every single day. But now, so I wrote every single day all the way up from January 1st, 1989 to December 31st, 2014.
Wow.
Because I had a baby. I have a baby, 1-year-old baby. But we had her, last year, and it was like, all right, now it's like just too much shit going on. I was
right.
like, all right, I can't be sweating writing in my journal when I want to hang out with my baby and stuff. So this year I'm writing. This whole year, 2015. We're in November now. This year I'm just writing kind of the highlights.
Right.
So I'm missing days. But it's like, my daughter started walking, that's written down, or her birthday, that's written down, or the first time she did this or did that, or some of my travels. When I was just in China for 2.5 weeks, I wrote every single day when I was in China. I still write stuff, but I'm just not locked into writing every single day.
And with having the kid, probably a lot of the days sort of blur together because you're doing sort of the same sort of things, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, my life has been pretty fucking exciting. You know what I'm saying? For a long time.
The first few months of the
You're
baby.
the goddamn wild man. You are the goddamn wild man. Of course it is.
It's still exciting. It's still exciting, you know, but it's a little different. It's a little bit more structured now. You know, I'm married.
Yeah.
You know, I got a kid. You know, and so it's like there's not stuff to write. I remember like decades ago, my friends going, "Dude, how do you have something to write about every day? Don't they get boring?" It's like, no, I got good shit to write about every single day.
Well, you're a creative guy. I mean, for a boring person, it would be boring. But I mean, for somebody,
especially a BMX rider living that life. You're constantly traveling. You're in the public's eye.
So, can we go back in time? Where does your BMX journey begin?
1981. In Ohio.
Boom! There it is. Boom! There it is.
The heart of it all.
That's right. Shout out to Ohio.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ohio. Shout out to another person from Ohio.
He used to get it in Ohio, but
boom.
Yeah.
So 9 years old. My uncle bought me a bike. My uncle Jim bought me my first bike. You know, took me to races. Thought I'd like it. You know, my dad latched on, and the week later took me out there, and you know, 9 years old and racing the local races, and then by the time I was 12, I was like 5th in the nation, you know, racing, and then when I was 15, I won the World Championships, you know, and they were in Orlando, Florida. The World Championships for racing, they go in different countries every year. They would travel around the world, and then all of a sudden they were in Orlando, Florida, and that was when I was 15, and I was starting to be really fast. Won the World Championships in 2 classes, won 14 or 15 expert and 14, 15 cruiser, you know, doubled at the Worlds. And the next year, like I said, went to Santiago, Chile, and won the Worlds again. You know, when I was 16 years old, and then it was like, you know, BMX was my shit. You know, it was like, it was all. I mean, I ran like track for like, you know, in junior high for like not even, I don't even know if we didn't even call it semesters, but like, you know, a few weeks.
Right.
And I had a tail, I had a blue tail.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You know, in the 80s, it was like 87, whatever, and then the track coach would call me Blue Boy. I was like, fuck off, you know. Anyway, so and he called me Blue. I said something to him. He said, Blue Boy, run around. You got to do 3 laps. And I ran a half a lap, ran right back in school, got my clothes, and like
peace.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm out of here, you know. And anyway, and I did football like in 4th grade or something. But other than that, I've just been, you know, BMX, you know. And I'm 43 years old right now, you know, and I'm sure we'll talk about it sometime in the interview or whatever. But I work for SE Bikes. Like I'm still freaking BMX. You know?
Just put it out an edit. You just put it out this week.
Yeah, you know how it is.
A little bit different type of biking now, but so should we talk about like when you first started to get sponsored?
Who's your first sponsor?
When did it first start becoming
I think
a
I
real
know,
thing?
but
my first sponsor, like young kid styles, was Como Bike Shop. I didn't say homo.
Okay.
Como.
You pointed right at me. What's all the accusations in this podcast?
He's obviously seen
We need a
previous
lie
shows.
detector test next time for me.
So anyway, Como Bike Shop in Columbus, and then Whitman's Bike Shop, which is the bike shop like in the Midwest. You know?
I want to give a big shout out to Whitman, Mike Whitman. He reopened a new shop down there in Southern Ohio.
Yep.
Centerville.
Yeah, they're
maybe?
still
I think
around.
it's Centerville.
Yeah.
But shout out to Mike Whitman, the homie. So there you go, Whitman's.
Dan Whitman,
That
old
was the
school
shit
homie.
back there, especially in Ohio. If you were on Whitman's team, that was like
no, they were like the NBL national #1 team, bike shop team, whatever. So they were Anyway, so that was my pre-teenage years, 12, 13, 14, and then when I was 14, I got sponsored by Hutch, you know, and I'm living in Ohio, you know, and it was like, you know, Hutch sponsored me, and it was like, holy shit, you know, this is California. Granted, I think I was there from Maryland, or whatever, but it was like it was
BMX,
legit.
especially with the magazines, because that's all you knew. This was like California super flashy bikes. Like that was the bike that everybody wanted. I wanted a Hutch so bad.
I got on the team with Eric Carter, with Mike Miranda, with Charles Townsend,
Holy
with Chris
cow. Choo-choo.
Backus, with all these dudes. And I got on the team in late 1986, in like November of 1986. And it was right before actually Hutch fell apart, you know, but I got on, you know, and that there was a Christmas race, you know, in Columbus, Ohio, the biggest
Christmas
national of the freaking year, you know, every year was Christmas race. And I rode for them in 1986 at the Christmas race in Columbus. And when the magazines came out, I had a full page picture in BMX Plus. I had a page and a half in BMX Action.
Wow.
You know, and it was like Todd Lyons on Hutch, you know, and it was just like, it was like, holy shit, this is real, you know. I'm 15 or whatever. I was just barely in high school, you know, and got pictures in BMX Action. And
so how mind-blowing was this to you at the time? Did you feel like, oh, I made it, or?
Yeah. I mean, Yeah,
It made you, without question, probably the coolest kid in your school for that period
Especially
of time.
BMX was viewed so differently back then too. You know?
Yeah. So I mean, to be able to roll into high school and be like, what's up, bitches?
None of you have ever won anything, and check me out.
No. They did I mean, when I that was '86. That was before I won the world championships. That was '87, whatever. I keep talking about that, but yeah, I mean, but throughout my I was the BMX dude at school. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
they did good morning, everybody. Todd Lyons won the world championships this past weekend. Seriously, like the principal when he talks in the morning and stuff. It was.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it was like.
And Todd's in the back of the room getting head from 2 girls.
No, it was legit. It was.
Did you do well with young ladies? Well, from a young age because of this fame?
Not in my high school because I was, you're the BMX dude.
Right,
You're not you're not the basketball player.
But if you were getting announced over the loudspeaker, I feel like that's kind of legit.
But still, back then, it was still BMX was still so you were a dork.
Yeah, no, they knew, they knew, but they didn't want to know. You know what I'm saying? Like. Gotta let the host knows.
That's right. That's exactly it.
No, but like I would travel. Like one of the jokes that I tell my old junior high friends is I would during the summer I would be at races all summer, and then I'd come back towards the end of the summer. I want to hang out with everybody. They wouldn't want to hang out with me,
right?
They're like. Just because I disappeared from them, I'm like, I was doing some other shit,
I was doing something really cool. Don't you want to be part of this and know about this?
I wasn't. Exactly. I wasn't twiddling my thumbs and going to the swimming pool. Summer.
I've had that experience too, where it's like you go on tour for a few months or whatever, and you come back and you realize like every girl you were talking to is no longer.
They peace out.
They just don't even give a shit that you exist anymore.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the dudes.
Oh, okay. I just automatically translated it.
But no, I didn't get a bunch of bitches in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a bunch of bitches on the road. Believe you me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was so much more mature than everyone in my high school. Just because of being
traveling,
being a freshman in high school and traveling to Chile, and being a sophomore in high school and traveling to Australia,
and
then and not just those two countries, whatever, but just traveling every weekend. And we used to race 24 weekends out of the year, like Harrisburg, Nashville, Orlando, Trumbull, Connecticut.
And was it overwhelming to you at that point in your life, or were you dealing quite well with it?
Oh no, I loved it. I could not get enough of it for decades.
Right.
Well, you just kept getting more popular every year, like.
So I rode for Hutch, and like what I was trying to get at with that, I got on Hutch, and all these people are on Hutch. Within like 6 months, Hutch fell apart.
Right.
And then turned into Hutchins. It's like, what the fuck is Hutchins? I was like, peace out. And anyway, then I rode for CW in 1987, and on CW, actually, ironically enough, Eric Carter, who was on Hutch with me, and Charles Townsend, who was the main pro, just turned pro on Hutch. They went to CW. Then I went to CW. Then it was like, Inhee Lee and Justin Shepard and Steve Dillard. Anyway, you don't know these names, but it was like CW had the freaking team,
Right.
So I rode for CW in 1987 all year. I won the world championships twice.
Right.
Got the cruiser, the 15-year-old cruiser national title, and they got number 3 in the 15 expert. In the 15 expert class, and then they dropped me. I was like, motherfuckers.
What was the excuse for dropping you?
Yeah, they were. It's kind of funny that I'm still talking about this 20-something, 30-something years later.
Okay.
Whatever.
That's what we do. Bring it out.
If you were a boxer, we'd ask you about your first big loss, or something like that.
But actually, at the Grand Nationals that year, there was back then, you'd enter team trophy and stuff, and like each team had their, you pick the riders for the team trophy, and the team manager would never want to tell the riders who was on the team sheet,
Right.
So. Anyway, so I crashed in the cruiser, and I was on team sheet, and I didn't know it, and me and some dude crashed in the second turn, and we get up, and I got up before him, and he's like, hey, can I go? I was like, fuck it, go, I'm gonna get rad, and
Right.
I did this big knack or some shit on the big doubles, got a picture in the magazine, but those 2 points when that dude, because each spot was 2 points, it was, we ended up losing the national title because I let that dude go instead of going.
And so how did that go over?
They dropped me at that.
Oh, that was when you got dropped for.
Before we left the race, the team manager came and was like, yo, Todd, we're gonna have to let you go.
Holy shit. So what was your move after that?
I rode for Eagle Snacks.
Jesus. All kinds of brands I've never heard of.
Yeah,
Eagle
this is,
Snacks,
like food. Like,
yeah, Eagle Snacks
nuts
is like
and-
it's like a pretzel company or whatever.
But was it
cool
different at the
contests.
time where it was like that was your sponsor instead of a bike sponsor? Is that what you're getting at?
No. Hutch was obviously a bike sponsor. CW was a bike sponsor, and Eagle Snacks was you're sponsored by Eagle Snacks, but
Right.
we rode Profile frames.
Oh, okay.
You know, Profile Racing. You know, they made frames.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had a triple or 3 bar. Like it was a weird bar from one.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, so it was called Eagle Snacks for the first year, and then the next year was called, actually no, it was always Eagle Snacks but we rode Profiles. Then like a year and a half later, it turned into MCS Eagle Snacks, and we all rode MCS bikes, but we were still sponsored by Eagle Snacks. Then the team just turned into MCS in 1989, and that's when.
That's where my first experience with Todd Lyons was.
Yeah.
Skate park, Cleveland, Ohio, Berea, Ohio. The skate park was called the Berea Triangle.
What year are we talking
This
here?
was 1990.
Okay.
Now back then, it was 89, 90 was like the changing of the guard for BMX contest, where you would start seeing a lot less uniforms or leathers. Prior to that, 80, 86, 87, 88, everybody wore leathers. Everybody.
Right.
And then BMX started to die a little bit, so leathers were for racing. And BMX racers never mixed in with BMX freestylers at all.
Right.
We show up with my friends to this contest, and these two dudes decked out in MCS leathers, this black guy and this white guy, fucking riding over everything, doing the craziest stuff. Like
bash
it was,
guard and shit.
It was so gnarly just to see, and I had no idea who these guys were. And just I remember Todd doing these massive wall rides, and it was the first time I ever saw somebody like fucking sending it and like pulling it, not like out of control. Everyone's like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" And oh, that's Todd Lyons and that's Lawan Cunningham, and they ended up fucking getting like first and second in the contest. We have to find some footage of that. Yeah, I'm sure that footage is there.
I think I might have footage actually at home, whatever. But actually, I've got it written down, and we didn't get first, fucking
Really?
second, motherfucker.
That's memory for you.
There you go. See, that's exactly why this comes in handy.
Yeah. Well, that's his memory.
All right, let me see here. So
He's
we're
been doing
in
all kinds of things
1990.
to damage it.
1990. You're right. The 1990.
I don't even know what month it would be.
All right, so this is finishing up Saturday night, blah, blah, blah. There's a street contest tomorrow in Berea. Like, I was fucking hyped, So
It's so cool. You could you put yourself in that
This is
mentality
fucking
again.
This
yeah.
is amazing for me
So
right
this
now.
is Sunday, March 25th, 1990.
Jesus Christ, what if it comes out and he fucked my mom?
He's like, this little annoying kid ruined my whole day.
I banged this really nice blonde lady that was waiting for her dumbass kid in the parking lot reading romance novels. I came out with my shirt off. She started talking to me.
Hey, don't
Mom.
Don't make me have a circle with an A around
God
it.
almighty. Oh, my God.
All right.
Zach's mom circled.
I left Aunt B and Uncle Tom's house at 7:30 a.m. Got to Berea. Is it Berea?
Berea.
Got to Berea 8 a.m. They had open riding until 12:30. This place is pretty rad. I was doing stuff that nobody else was. I got second. Jamie got third. Lawan got fourth, and some weak ass dude won only because he didn't wreck. I wrecked 5 times. The run was 2 minutes. That was way too long. Stayed for a while later and left at 6 p.m. Got to Lawan's at 8 p.m. Dropped him off. Blah blah blah. So I didn't even. You got memories of that shit from fucking 20.
It was
25
good.
years.
It was
And
good.
I didn't even win.
See,
Well, how many other kids you
I said
probably
first
meet
and
that day,
second. I was
yeah.
close. I said first and second. I was
Yeah.
close.
How many other dudes do you think you probably met that day in terms
Yeah.
of little fanboys like
Yeah.
this guy?
Yeah, who won? Exactly.
Hold
Who?
on,
You
hold on.
remember this shit, but
That
you don't
poor
remember who
guy.
won.
Who would have won that contest?
The odds are not high
I
that
didn't
he's
even write his
listening
name
right
down.
now, but
I got the names of the second, third, and fourth of me, but
somebody
not the
watching
dude
is
Who are
going
the
to know.
names? Who are the names?
Somebody's got to know. I'm looking at you.
the
people out there.
dude Jamie. He was from Columbus. He came with us, I think, and Lawan Cunningham
Yeah.
got fourth.
And you got second.
Yeah, we got second. That's
Who the
fuck.
fuck got
Some dude that didn't crash. There were some bullshit ass judges. There's probably BMX moms judging.
Sean
and sh-
Bloom? I
judging
can
and
think
shit.
of Sean Bloom.
So yeah,
There's footage of that.
So that's how you guys met.
And
that-
that's where we met. That's
No,
the first time I
yeah.
saw him. He was fucking.
I didn't meet him till like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was this big.
Right.
It took me a long time to even.
So what
for him to
made
talk to
you
me.
such a huge Todd Lyons fan in 1990? What
Well,
how would you
at
describe
the
this?
time, nobody was riding.
Wait. There's bully the fucking. I was riding the bully bike. I can't remember what it's called, but it had the bash guard
guard.
with
Right.
with the the plastic,
it's
not plastic. What's it called? The
neoprene. Or no,
Yeah.
not
No,
neoprene.
you think of
fucking,
hammer.
Yeah.
slippery fucking plastic
PVC
shit.
shit. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
but
I
had
know
the
you
bash card, I could fucking grind anything for as long as I wanted.
But you were just sending it. I remember like.
But
that.
no, there was
You
the
did big wall
vert
ride.
wall. Actually, you know what? Yeah. 2 weeks later, it's really not that exciting. But 2 weeks later, we went back, and I was just because I was looking through this shit tonight, and it said something about I was like doing wall rides higher than every. Oh, here it is. All right, so. Okay, Julie, Jen, Matt, and I left for Berea, so some hoes. At 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. We left for fucking, it was 6 a.m.
Who leaves for a skate park at 6 a.m.?
Hey,
Yeah,
what
what-
fucking wild, man, what?
Maybe it was a morning session. Maybe there was a
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
I don't know.
Morning session, you know how it is.
Yeah.
I drove her car. There were only 4 other dudes there. I had a pretty rad session. I did nothings. First time doing nothings. 9.5-foot wall rides to the platform, and I drew a little diagram.
Yeah.
You don't care, but there's a little.
I would like to see this
little
diagram.
little diagram.
Yeah, like
I would like to see if it's.
It's a fucking bullshit ass
Let me
diagram.
look at this thing.
it's tiny. It's not going to be easy for you to see that. Yeah. No, but you know what's funny is that I have
Funny.
I had a blog online when I was like 15, 16, and it's funny because that is how you tend to write as a 15 or 16-year-old. You're like what you wrote, I did nothings. Like when I look at mine, it's like I did feeble grind to bar spin today.
Yeah.
It's like you just are so straight up with exactly what you did. And it's very
Because you're the only one that's ever going to read it.
It's like
That's
it's
why you're
awesome.
the
It's
little,
more just meticulous.
Hey, we
data
stayed
keeping.
from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
There
See,
you
good
go.
thing we left at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
See?
Hey, I got a lot more stories.
Dude.
Amazing. So
Give us a crazy. I want to hear a crazy
volunteer more
sex
from
story.
these years. Oh my god, a sex story. Jeez.
Give us,
This-
we always
this
ask
is really
people about
diving
sex.
into
on
Hey,
here.
wait. This is all this is the wild shit. And
The
this,
blue ones.
This is the appropriate shit for tonight. Was
Seriously?
Hey, come on, I got a baby.
That's
I
okay.
got
Let
a
me
baby.
just look. I'm going to look at the wild shit just to look at it real
I
fast.
don't know how. All right. While he's reading that,
Yeah. So, give me a
So,
story
all
that
right,
you
let-
want told on there.
let's jump to 1982.
Why are you over here experiencing things that the audience can't experience?
I'm looking for something good for them.
right.
I'm cutting to the chase.
Okay.
All right, so 1982.
Killed a dog with a spatula.
Hey, I didn't kill none.
This morning, Luan made pancakes with absinthe.
Shut up.
Was it?
I'm just kidding.
Did you ever consider that these could ever be held, would be usable in a court of law?
No.
No.
No, I never. No,
Well, you've mostly
but
lived
but
it.
I've got a fireproof safe at home. It's like a little. Like,
And that's what they say.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest
Yeah.
danger to them would be a natural disaster or a flood. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm so. I mean, fuck. I'm on the Come Up TV. What was that? What we call this?
Yeah.
Come Up.
Yeah.
There we go. Come Up TV. I'm talking about it. I don't give a fuck.
We could share
you
a
know?
list.
Give us some
yeah,
crazy
yeah.
stories. We want
So no, I don't know if this is crazy, but it's just funny shit, you know. So BMX Plus, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. You know, so this is 1992. I moved to California in I graduated high school in Columbus, Ohio. That summer, you know, I graduated high school in early
high school did
June.
you go to?
Upper Arlington.
Okay.
The end of that summer, I stayed the summer out east, raced some races, and then moved to California. And then September, I moved to California. September, I moved to California. And so, all right, so 2 years later, November 1992. You know, this just goes to show you their state of early 90s BMX. You know. Woke up at the POW house. You know, the POW house, I guess nobody knows about the POW house.
Oh,
but
there's some-
The POW
Tell-
house
tell.
was the POW stood for Pros of Westminster, and any BMX media that went out, you knew about this house. And the house was notorious. A young kid in Ohio that knew nothing, didn't know these guys, they knew nothing. This was like the BMX party house that you had to go to.
It sounds like the OSS house.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
But
it
this
was-
was the
no,
first
but-
one.
It was
This
the
was the
first
first
one.
one.
It
It
was
was
the first,
documented
like-
in every magazine.
Yeah.
Every issue that would come out of the POW house would be referenced.
And the
whether it
dudes who
was-
ride for us are losers. Let's just say.
Yeah, and
Okay,
these
sorry.
guys.
But
are-
it was the first documented. You know, like
Right.
we weren't the first, you know, but it was the first, and it was like Brian Foster, Alan Foster, Todd Lyons, Lawan Cunningham,
Dave Clymer.
Jay Lonergan, I'm drawing blanks.
And so, what year does the
Chris
POW
Moeller,
house
you
begin?
know. Well, it started in Huntington Beach. Like
Right.
it was the HBP, which is the Huntington Beach Pros house. You know, and it started right near the beach on 13th Street, I think. And then they got evicted from there, and then they and then they rented the Huntington the POW house in Westminster, and that's when I moved out there. But it was just like the biggest flop house, you know, and it wasn't just, like I said, it wasn't the first, you know, I'm sure there's other shit going on across the country, but it was like the magazines latched onto it, you know, and it was just like, dude, you're a fucking POW. And it was like, once, I only lived there actually, I moved there in 1990, and I only lived there for like, I think 6 or 9 months, but once you're POW, you're fucking POW.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, so back to the funny story at hand. Woke up at the POW house, and we rode to the store and got some food. And then some of us went to Sheep Hills. Beeve and Daly from BMX Plus. They were
Mike
there.
Daly?
Yeah, Mike Daly.
Shout out to Mike Daly.
Yeah.
I was going to say that too.
So Beeve, do you know the word name Beeve?
Beeve, no.
He's a photographer, I think, now for motocross magazines, but he was the main photographer for BMX Plus. Daly was always the editor.
Mm-hmm.
Beeve was a photographer. Anyway, we went to Sheep Hills. Do you remember Carl Roth?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, all right, so actually, it says, Beeve and Daly, and in parentheses, he replaced Carl Roth. They were there from BMX Plus, testing a red line with shock forks.
Wow.
They had me do nose wheelies over a tabletop. That's the shot they want for the cover. That would be cool if I'm in it. Came home and then chilled with Eric Carter, Robbie Morales, and Christophe Levesque. Watched Rocky at night. I was crazy tired, blah, 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 whatever, blah, blah. Anyway,
Wow.
but the fact that, you know, going to Sheep Hills and testing a red line with shocks
So
for the
crazy.
cover of BMX Plus.
And from your recollection, did you get the cover doing that?
No.
No, it was just the
motherfuckers.
idea?
Yeah,
Okay.
they played me.
That's probably a good thing. You know,
Yeah.
That is cool,
those
though.
with shocks.
But and then you watched Rocky, too. I wonder if it was a new movie at the time.
I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
it's
you
way
know,
too
yeah,
late for that,
yeah,
right?
That
too,
old.
yeah.
There's
Earlier
probably-
that year, almost rode for S&M.
Oh,
You know,
so
Chris
tell us
Moeller.
about
I got
that.
a lot
How'd
of
you
Chris
almost ride for
Moeller shit.
S&M?
I got a lot of Chris Moeller shit in here.
How come you almost rode for them? What was that process like?
Let's see. Let me read here. Then I went to the Orange Y in Southern California. The Orange Y is the most famous BMX track for decades. You know, and anyway, just scrolling through. Then I went to the Orange Y for practice. I felt shitty. I went back to Julie's and worked a bit on my fairy tale Cinderella paper. I was in school like that. I was in school. Mad Dog called. He's going to pay my entry fees this weekend. I'm going to wear S&M because Dave Clymer's not going to race much more. So Chris might keep paying my entries. This was 1992, early 1992.
Wow.
So Dave Clymer's about to kind of fade away.
Right, yeah.
You know, and Chris Moeller was like, yeah, I'll start sponsoring you.
Wow. That's pretty intense.
I just opened a page here and it just says Macathon.
What's that?
It's a it was
okay.
It was a little contest. It was a macathon.
I thought that you were just eating a ton of hamburgers.
All right, wait.
Who can mac the most girls? Who can mac a girl the fastest?
The fastest?
No, the most. I don't know the heck that was.
He can't really remember.
All right,
that.
so how many people remember Dave Clymer? Like,
yeah.
How many of your viewers? You know.
Oh, I don't know. Probably very small.
No, but I think
Dave Clymer was
I
the
think
he was the first.
You're going to
freaking-
pull a lot of the old
Yeah.
farts out.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
want,
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of these guys are going to want a lot.
Because we've done a few old school ones at this point. There's a precedent
I've
set.
been watching them.
Okay, cool.
But Dave Clymer, he was the first. I don't give a motherfucking fuck about fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, he rode for S&M. He had tattoos. He would do wild shit.
He was the
Like,
first dude I ever saw at a BMX contest. Before his run, this is at Woodward. Before his run, they announced his name. He fucking takes a beer and he pounds a beer before his fucking run. And this is in the early 90s where, like, we were so sheltered from
So
any of the
you're still
the
wearing
bad
leathers.
side. Yeah, exactly. I'm sitting in leathers like, I can't believe this is happening. And then he, like, 360'd a car or something.
Yeah.
Like, something insane. But, yeah,
No,
he was the first rock and roll fucking BMX
he was the
rider.
first, like the Mike Hoder or whatever.
Yeah,
Hoder?
yeah.
Hoder?
Yeah,
Hoder,
Hoder. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was, but there was nobody like Dave Clymer in that time. You know, it was like Dave Clymer was the shit. You know, and anyway, but so he lived at the POW house. You know, like I said, Chris Moeller, Alan Foster, Brian Foster, a lot of fucking Jay Lonergan, Chris Sales, Chris Stevenson, blah blah blah. Anyway, a lot of old school dudes. You know, but. So we would all go to the night. We go to nightclubs, and we would just fucking take over the nightclubs. And believe you me, when we got to read some more of this stuff with Hoffman and Mira and fighting and
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Darcy
when those-
Darcy from McNeil stealing this cop
The cop car in Chicago?
I've
have that.
got it.
Yeah, let's hear.
I think
Let's
we
hear
can talk
that
about
one.
it now because it's he's what's it called? The term of what is it called? I forget what the fucking term is called when you can
Statutory rape?
No, that's statute of limitations. Statute of limitations.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
I don't know if that's true on stealing a cop car, but I mean,
No, he got caught.
He got arrested.
Yeah,
he got
yeah,
arrested.
yeah, yeah.
I got
So
it.
then,
I got
yes.
me and Ruben Castillo were we. Yeah. Anyway, I'll read.
hit me with another one.
Yeah. All right. All right. So this is there was a nightclub in Huntington Beach, and Ricky Ratman. Do you remember Ricky Ratman?
Yeah.
He did like Headbangers Ball on MTV.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And we're talking early '90s. I'm in 1992, and Ricky Ratman had this club, and it was on PCH, in Newport, or not Newport, Sunset Beach. Anyway, we used to just we'd all go to the club and we would just take it over, like you get so many BMX dudes, be like, fuck, we just roll in there,
do whatever you want.
Yeah, we run this shit. But anyway, so all right, let me read this. Blah 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 blah. We went to the POW house, drank. At night, a bunch of us went to Bordello's, which was the Ricky Ratman club. Dave Clymer and I got kicked out early. They said we've been banned from there before, but we hadn't. We went around back and busted open a door and hid under a table, and then went through the kitchen and up some steps, and then we opened the door to the club. A bouncer was there. He kicked us out again. Dave lost him. I walked around outside for a while. Dave got kicked out again, and then we met each other and we climbed up onto the roof, and we scaled the ceramic shingles and found a door to the attic, and then we climbed in. Dave fell off this beam and onto a big pile of stuff, 8 feet down. Too funny. Found a ladder, and we climbed down into the closet, and then we were back in the club. I put a hat on and stayed in until closed. Dave got kicked out again. The motherfuckers, they just would kick us out and be back in there.
It's like the Little Rascals.
We got kicked out 4 or 5 times.
We were like ghosts. We would just appear again.
How could there possibly
man.
be so many poorly guarded entrances?
Oh, no.
That's why.
We when we were through the kitchen and shit, that was like a whole different restaurant, like next door.
Okay,
we
yeah.
were
To be young again.
Oh, yeah.
I get kicked out of the bar, I'm leaving. I'm not trying to get...
It's unthinkable to me
5
that you would
times.
ever be able to get back in after you got kicked out once. It's hard to imagine, right?
We got kicked out like 3 times. The same night. We're like, oh, what's up?
I put a hat
told
on.
me, remember being with Dave before, and when we were both getting kicked out at the same time, the owner dude was like, how the fuck did he get back in here? And Dave was like, he will let me in. And it was just so funny.
My favorite is he fell in a pile of stuff.
We were walking across beams and shit, in attics, and we fell.
You just mentioned the words Miron, Hoffman, and fight all in the same sentence. What might you be referring to?
I don't have any documented. Did I say Miron?
Yeah.
But no.
This is where Adam turns into TMZ on you.
Well, this is interesting stuff.
He wants to dig
You realize
in.
the audience at home, if he gives them a little nugget, if he mentions the word fight and then the names of 2 of the most famous BMX stars of all time, there are going to be people who want to know.
But if I know for a fact, I don't have that documented in here. But I live with Jay Miron. I live with Rick Thorne.
Right.
But I don't have the Miron, because when that happened, that was some freestyle shit. Like I was out racing in Norwalk, Ohio, or some shit.
What about Miron though? What's the craziest fight you ever saw him get into?
Yeah, I think I read more shit about that because I lived with him for like almost a year. But knowing him, I never knew him like that. I know he was kind of a fucking weirdo a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But but totally cool. Like I love
anger problem.
Yeah. But I love.
No, I love him too. Yeah, but I mean,
Canadian beast.
I've seen him beat a few asses, but I mean, I heard of it because I was standing in the bar. It happened outside in the taxi cab.
But we never before I came on to Come Up TV tonight, I kind of scrolled through all my stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't run across any like, yo, Jay Miron broke some motherfucking teeth or blah blah blah. So and I lived with him for a few years.
With this whole dog killing the dog with the spatula thing, it's a little bit disturbing.
Fuck off! That wasn't it. What year is that?
91.
Give it back. Give it back because I'm on 93 already.
What year did you get on Huffy?
90. All right, so 90. Yeah. All right, let's talk about that. So my sponsorship days, 1994, I got sponsored by Haro. And before that, I was living in the POW house. I lived in the Brian Foster, whatever. We were blah, 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 working odd jobs, making a little bit of money, making $8,000 a year. And then I was working at GT. GT used to be,
right.
they used to be located in Huntington Beach on Gothard Street. And I was working there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I was going to school Tuesday and Thursday.
Right.
And I went to school for like 11 years in the junior college. But anyway, so I was going to school and I was minimum wage, $4.20 an hour.
Right.
And that's
dude,
all I made.
$4.20.
I never got a raise. It was $4.20.
I was wondering if you're going to bite on that one.
Anyway, and I worked for them for like 9 months, and it was like, it's cool, whatever. It's going to school, living in an apartment with a buddy, blah, blah, and, going to school and working. And then actually I got it in here or whatever, but then Haro came out of nowhere, like, yo, we want to sponsor you. And it was actually Magoo. Magoo hit me up.
Shout out to Magoo.
Yeah, Magoo, what's up?
What's up, Magoo?
So he came out of nowhere and he was like, hey, the guys at Haro, they want to sponsor you, $500 a month. I was like, fuck, I gotta quit my job, because I never made $500 a month working at GT, because I never worked a full, because I was always traveling, so I never worked a full-time month, so if I would have worked, then it'd been like $520 or whatever, but I was like, holy shit, I can quit my job. So I quit GT and I just rode for Huffy. Sorry, back it up.
Haro.
Rode for them for that year, $500 a month, made some other money, made like $11,000 that year. Like, holy shit. And the next year, that was 94, and then 95, Arnett Sunglasses sponsored me. And then Brian Lopes, he had a tire. He rode for Mongoose, but he had his own tire called the Blur or whatever.
Yeah.
He sponsored me to ride for the Blur at $200 a month, and then oh shit, the next year I made like $24,000. And the next year Haro paid me $1,000 a month. And then the next year, third year on Haro, they paid me $1,500 a month. And then I got sponsored by Jinko. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jinko.
And also, but the X Games was also played a big role in this.
No. We're not there.
And we shall not gloss
Yeah.
over Jinko.
Yeah.
Or
So
Huffy.
we will discuss Jinko.
Yes, we will discuss both in depth
Jinko.
and the X Games, even if that is all we talk about. But okay, yeah.
So I went from making, fucking just skimming by, working odd jobs, blah blah, going to school, and then it was like, made like $12,000 and make $25,000, then made $37,000, and that was like in my first 3 years on Haro, and then going to the fourth year on Haro, they offered me no pay raise. They're like, well, yeah, we kind of think you reach your your market value. I was like, fuck off. Anyway, out of nowhere, again, Magoo calls me. Hey, I'm talking with Rich Vidiella from Huffy. They want to pay you $2,500 a month. I was like, whoa, full and nowadays, sponsorships are weird. There's not much money in BMX.
Right.
Everyone does it for the love. Fuck, I still love it. Glad I don't have to fucking guarantee sponsorship money.
Yeah.
But
or sponsorship increases every year. If
Yeah.
you were held to that, that's a tough standard.
My
Yeah.
God,
so they anyway, so they come at me, and the whole, it's riding for Haro each year. The monies I mentioned, they're also paying all entry fees and paying all expenses, rental cars, hotels, blah blah. And then Huffy comes in and basically is paying offers me $1,000 more and better bonuses. Fuck, I could win Pro Cruiser and win $500. I win Pro Cruiser every freaking weekend.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So Huffy comes in out of nowhere and offers me a good deal. Like I said, $1,000 more than Haro was. So I didn't even go back to Haro with the hey, what's up? I was like, hey, later. Because I just knew, because they had already told me.
Yeah.
So I went to Haro. Went to Huffy.
Yeah.
And then made like 70-something grand.
Fuck.
I'm 26 years old.
Fuck.
I was like, this is fucking cool.
And at 26, what are your expenses like? Are you spending all this money? Are you saving all this money?
No. I actually was just reading through some other shit. The year, this is fucking going around in circles, whatever. But the year before I bought my house, I've been in my house 17 years. I bought my house 17 years ago. The year before I bought my house, I made $71,000. I saved $43,000 that year. I saved my 20% down payment in 1 year.
Yeah.
You don't smoke weed, do you?
No.
Fact. I know. I got a sense for this thing.
You would be saving $43,000 a year easily with it. Yeah.
No, so I've always fucked. When I was a kid, I put coins in the thing, and I when I was like 12 or no, fucking barely, probably not even 12, I had like $43 of change.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was just always a saver.
Hell yeah.
I was like that as a kid too. What the fuck happened?
Weed.
Yeah,
Weed.
well, it's a little bit of it, but I think I'm
So-
cash positive for weed.
Girls, you spend a lot of money on women.
No.
Anyway,
Oh,
so yeah,
Don't stop.
Where the hose at? Where the hose at?
I like how he keeps
Anyways.
using the word hose.
So I rode for Huffy for 5 years and basically averaged $90,000 a year. You know what I'm saying?
And that was a big when you got on the team. That was when Huffy was going hard. They went hard on both the race and the BMX side.
There was zero. The last time Huffy was around was Stu Thompson in '83, and all of a sudden they flipped a switch and they had Magoo and his crew. Revolution Advertising.
Yeah.
They were the crew that did the ads. They did, the marketing,
the
blah
stickers,
blah.
those awesome stickers. Everybody was the cartoons,
funny stuff. Yeah, they did. We did a lot of funny stuff.
Because that was a wild team. It was like you, Frime with Biz,
the first year was like me, Jimmy Levan, and Randy Sumfauser. Jimmy, who knows that Jimmy Levan was on fucking Huffy?
That's right.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
That's
1
right.
year.
But didn't he go straight from Huffy to metal?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's straight to metal, but
Schwinn?
but so many people talk shit about like, yo, you didn't want Jimmy, you fucked up, you didn't want Jimmy,
Yeah, even back then he was a little reckless.
He got dropped after the first year, and then Corey Nasazio got picked up, and then they clicked on the whole freestyle thing, and we had Sweet Lou as the team manager,
That's right,
Dave Frymouth, Aaron Benke, oh god, I love
Who else was on Huffy?
Biz was on Huffy. Heath Pinner, it was just like it was a legit freaking team, and that was like the freestyle team, and it was like.
And were you involved in any way on the back end?
And Ruben wasn't Ruben.
Yeah,
Ruben was on. Ruben was on.
I got a story about that. Yeah, I kept him in America.
Were you just a rider at this point, or were you involved in any way
totally,
with Huffy
100%,
behind the scenes?
Totally, just rider. But so I'm gonna guess this is 90. Actually, I know when it is because it was the second X Games in San Diego, or maybe the first one in San Diego, 95, 96, 97 or 98. It was San Diego X Games. We were at Dave Muir's warehouse, and I can't remember who we were, but I was there, and we were hanging out there, and we were probably in between races. Mm-hmm. I looked at some of my journals, which I still want to read some of this shit.
Yeah.
But I would race Evansville, Indiana, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Go to the X Games Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday, fly to Nashville, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, fuck it, I want to do this race, I want to do the X Games, I want to do this. It's like, I look back like, fuck, why didn't I fucking stay at the X Games and bang some hoes? Anyway, so we're at Dave Muir's warehouse, and this is 90. I'm pretty sure it was definitely San Diego X Games. The first X Games was 95, so the second X Games was again in Rhode Island, 96. So this is 97 or 98. I think it's 97 in San Diego, and Pollo was there. That was his name. Does anyone know that anymore? Pollo,
the wild chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was his nickname back in the day. So he's there, and I
would have said Pollo.
He's literally almost crying in the corner. We're like, "What's up?" And we saw him that day riding and shredding and blah blah. And like, oh, he's got to go back to Spain. He's really bummed, and he's blah blah. He's and we're like, fuck, he fucking kills it. Like, oh well, he doesn't have any more money, and I don't know if we already knew that he was invited to the X Games or something. I think we probably knew that. Like, hey, he's got an invite to the X Games, but he can't even fucking get there. And he had no money, and he literally was just devastated. And so I called up, Rich Vidiello, who was a team manager on Huffy, and I'm like, yo, you got to know about this guy and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so what ended up happening, Huffy stepped up. We flew him out to California, flew him to the X Games. He rode the X Games. He didn't kill it. He didn't make it the, finals or nothing like that, but he kind of showed the world, what he's up to. And then Huffy sponsored him for the next few years, and he's able to stay in America, and it was like... Yeah. And me and Pollo, we got that little when we see each other, we know, it's like, I feel proud that I was able to kind of help, because if he had gone back, who knows where he'd be.
BMX might have been a little bit different.
He's fucking, not saying I created Pollo,
no.
but Ruben, but I'm glad that I was part of
being on Huffy together. It's like being in the Crips together. It's like you have or being in the same platoon. You
got to get beat in or sexed in
or something.
Or shredded in.
What about Magoo? You ever see Magoo do anything funny? I already know the answer's got to be yes.
Yeah,
but the question is, will you put it to record?
There's some funny bachelor parties back in the day.
Oh, I bet.
I've been getting some text messages from people. One of the people they can't be named, but they said, ask Todd to tell some green door stories from Las Vegas.
What's a green door?
I have been to some shady place. Hey, I'm not gonna go to the green door when I can go to freaking Thailand or Pattaya or some shit. Say
I got my ass kicked in Pattaya.
Pattaya.
Pattaya, whatever it was. Actually, it was during jiu-jitsu. I got in a jiu-jitsu fight. Adam
for the TV show. Yeah,
he used to be the third best jiu-jitsuist in Long Beach.
The more you say this, the more people are going to start thinking it's true.
It is true.
Did he have nice tits?
He had very nice teeth.
Wait a minute. So you were so somebody told you to do something, and then his response was, "I would rather go to Bangkok or Pattaya," which, as everybody knows, are like prostitution centrals of the earth.
The Green Door is. Did we try to go to the Green Door, babe? I think we might.
I haven't been there.
It's a bar that you can go and just watch people bang.
Talk into the mic.
Watch people bang.
I've been to some wild shit in my days. Believe you me.
Tell us. We want to hear.
No.
Adam is at a very sexually different point in his life right now. So in a lot of our
What
interviews,
is that?
we've been
What
asking,
point is that?
We were trying to figure it out. I'm not judging you, but that also gives us the ability during on some of these shows to not talk a little bit about things, not BMX related.
No, see, the reason why we can't talk about sexual things is just the overall guy code. Is that even like 20 years later, TL knows that he can't talk about what he probably saw Magoo do a million years ago.
But
so
that's asking
fuck the
about
guy code.
Magoo.
That's why I can't wait to be really old. You can just tell all the stories because they don't
you don't
matter
give a
anymore.
fuck.
Yes.
See?
When I'm 60, I'm going to just tell all the stories about you because you'll be dead.
God.
Everyone you know or will have ever loved will be dead.
See, I wanted to start doing this with you, but then you just started fucking on Snapchat, so now like the
No, it didn't
stories, nobody.
That didn't happen. That's you.
that did not
That's your
happen.
kind of thing.
Hey, let's get it
I've seen
back
you.
on. So all right, so let me read some shit.
Okay,
I got decades of fun.
I already know my next question though. I just want to know what it was like being on Jinko because I'm a lifelong
Jinko
fan
is
of
fucking-
Jinko.
What kind of money are we talking in Jinko?
So
And just how much fun and brotherhood.
I was a team manager. I was the Jinko dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I
God,
was like,
that's
yo,
amazing. I wish I could say
Trevor
that.
Meyer, we want to sponsor you. Yo, Poyo, we want to sponsor you. Yo, TJ Lavin, we want to sponsor you. Corey Nastasio, we want
Lee
to sponsor
Ramsdale.
you.
Lee Ramsdale.
we want to sponsor
All
you.
these swagged out
So I was
dudes.
able
Lee,
to pick
Trevor Meyer, they
I
all look
picked every
great.
one of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? It was just fucking cool. You know, it was,
Yeah.
Death Ride Dave to and then the racing and the Corey Nastasio, and it was just cool because I was able to hook up my bros.
Corey
you know?
really helped push that.
What
brand.
Lee always said to me was that they actually made some kind of normal pants, and
Yeah,
that's what
they
he would
did. They
mostly
totally
wear.
did.
So,
They made a lot of normal shit.
what,
you know?
did anyone ever on the team? Did you ever see any of them wearing the really big ones? Not really, because it's kind of impractical for riding. Yeah.
Back then it was different. Like
Oh,
big pants were worn in style. Everybody.
I was
wore
13,
big
and
pants.
it was literally like it was a takeover that swept the school. Everybody had to have them.
I rode for them for 3 years, and I made, it's probably I don't know, $40,000 over 3 years. So that's two ways I look at whatever my down payment for my house. That was my 3 years on Jinko, or that was 1 year saving my fucking balls off.
Right, yeah.
But I know they came in hot. You know what I'm saying? They were running double page ads in all the magazines.
Yeah.
They were paying the riders. The most I got off them, the most I got off them. But it was just $1,700 a month, which isn't crazy, but it was like that's $20,000 a
back
year.
then, that's fucking
That's
awesome.
that's
in the
now.
90s. I'm in my 20s. That's my 90s.
There are dudes that are taking podium at major contests that don't get that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it's 20 basically. So what's that? About $20,000 a year. To wear some.
Jinko's back.
Yeah, I know. I've seen him.
Yeah, I bet somebody sent it to you on Facebook, right? Yeah.
Did you send your resume in? You hit it, holler at
I
him?
was like, yo, what's up?
And that's the funny thing too is that they're in downtown LA. I think they follow me.
They were down
They
here.
follow like a lot of people on Twitter. Oh, it was down here too.
Yeah.
Then too. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
There
that
you go.
now it has no relationship to the original parent company, but
I don't think so.
did
Talk
you
about
ever,
the dumpster gap.
Yeah, because that's like kind of my first TL memory is
Yeah,
you
that
jumping
was-
a.
It's still there. The spot's still there, isn't it?
The dumpster gap or the Porta John?
Oh, I was thinking Porta John.
Oh, the Porta Johns.
Sorry,
That's
yeah.
what
Well,
I'm thinking,
I
yeah.
did a double dumpster too, motherfucker.
Okay, off a loading dock.
Yeah.
I think I remember this one
that's
too.
Huntington Beach also. It was
Right.
It was just in Ride magazine. It wasn't an ad or whatever. But yeah, I went down there. I remember like the night before with a sledgehammer, and I broke out. It was the fence, but it was a wrought iron whatever fence, and I fucking broke that shit out, and I only jumped the Porta Johns once, I got the cool guy
Super
tuck,
tuck.
and
Yeah.
then nosed right in,
And they still
my
ran it as a 2-page spread in every magazine
yeah,
for multiple months.
Yeah, but it was but my front wheel, no, back wheel, luckily.
Yeah.
Luckily.
Yeah.
Back wheel blew up on impact, and it was a Alex triple wall rim.
Weren't you
triple
jumping into
wall.
sand?
No, motherfucking. I hate it when people say that.
It kind of
you
looked
see
like
my
sand.
wheel blew
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
you know?
that's why it always confused me.
It was
as a
over the
kid.
sand on the dirt, man. It was for decades people talking about you jumped in the sand,
See,
right?
now
I was like,
you all
do
know
see-
it's
That's what it looks like, and that's why I was really extra
It was a
confused about the wheel breaking. Yeah.
No, it blew up. My wheel blew up, and that was a classic because it's like I land and I just compress, and my back wheel just blew up. But it's like I think back, like, if my front wheel would blow up, fucking A,
that would keep it game over.
Yeah. So anyway, but no, they poured the heat on and the money on,
Right.
like running the ads and all that, and it was fucking cool. And I met the Jinko dude, and it's my buddy Ian Lashley. Like, I'm still friends with him. I met him at a nightclub, just
Right.
with Rick Thorne.
And
I was roommates with Rick Thorne. Like I said, Rick Thorne knew him somehow, introduced me to him, and a week later, I drove up there and signed a contract. It was like,
So would they have most likely not have ever been in BMX if it wasn't for that?
whew.
Probably not, right? Because
That's a good question.
They could have gotten into skateboarding.
I never thought about that, but they were into skateboarding.
Okay, but they did do that
Sean
too, right?
Mallard, Sean the Duck Mallard, the downhills.
Oh, yeah, huh.
They sponsor the street loser dudes or whatever. I never thought about that, but I literally was at a nightclub in Huntington Beach with Rick Thorne. We were roommates at the time. He knew him from the Warped Tour, something.
Right.
Introduced me to him, and we started talking. Then I went up there a week later. And then blah blah blah, and then signed a contract, and then like I said, every single rider that was sponsored was like, hey, let's sponsor Ruben, Pollo, let's sponsor TJ Lavin, let's sponsor Corey Nastasio, let's sponsor Aaron Banky, let's sponsor Trevor Meyer, and there was all me, if that maybe they would still wanted to get because they were trying to get into extreme
But it might have
sports,
been different, yeah.
But it may have been a lot more gay.
Was there ever a point where you were in any way pressured to start doing the freestyle stuff, or was that something that you wanted to do at a certain point?
No, like I said, I just did a refresher on my brain, on myself. Read through all these, what I'm saying? Before I came, I was like, yeah, let me re-up on myself. And reading through my journals, and I knew this anyway, but I mean, I started as a racer in 1981 as a 9-year-old racer. I won the world championships as a racer. I was a racer. And then when I moved to California, I started dirt jumping more and blah, blah. And then once, there was no such thing as a professional dirt jumper.
Right.
I'm going to credit Fuzzy Hall as the first ever professional dirt jumper.
Shout out to Tim Hall.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tim.
Fuzz dog.
Love Fuzz.
So, he was the first guy and he was a racer also. And then he started going, I'm going to just jump, and
Right.
he got paid by Mongoose just to be a jumper, and that was in early 90s. And then jumping contests started happening more and more at the races, and they would happen on the jumps at the races. Now we wouldn't even build separate jumps. It's just a jump step up, and anyway, and then there's more and more dirt jump contests at the races. But I'd race and then I'd dirt jump,
Right.
and like I said, if I read through some of these journals, like I said, like I'd be at a race, one weekend, go to the Hoffman contest. The next weekend, in Hoffman Estates, and then the next weekend go to the ABA Grands, So I always like to do everything,
Right.
Like I never stopped anything to do anything, I always like to do.
But what about something like the dumpster gap or the porta potty gap, which is like a straight up street trick?
That, what? Like I said, like when I was just reading through some of the shit, like I did some of that stuff Thursday night before a race.
Really? Yeah.
Before flying to a race, and now looking back, like all these. All these notes, because these are like the looking back now funny notes,
Right.
And I would go like, holy shit, I did this Thursday before flying to Florida for a race,
Right.
So,
But in retrospect, were you just crazy confident, or were you just a dumbass? From your perspective now,
that's felt indestructible.
you
I
had
didn't
it
give
in
a
you,
fuck.
yeah,
I
and
didn't
you
give a
were
fuck.
riding that good
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
time, so
yeah.
why not, right?
Yeah. But it's funny looking back now, like holy shit, I did that Thursday before going to a race,
Right.
like having a flight, and like I said, the X Games used to be, now the X Games is this, it's this top 10 riders, it's this 3-day event. Before it used to be a 2-week event. It used to
Right.
start on one weekend, it used to finish the next weekend.
Yeah.
It was 10 days or 12 days, and sometimes a lot of the contest stuff like dirt jumping would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I would be at a race in motherfucking Evansville, Indiana, Friday, Saturday, Sunday racing, Monday morning, fly to San Diego, do the X Games, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, fly to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for another race. You know, it was just like that was the mindset. It was like I just want to do it all.
And it probably didn't seem like that big a deal at the time either, right?
No. I laugh at it looking back now. You know, like the second X game, the first or second X game in San Diego. The first 2 X games were in Rhode Island, and then the next 2 were in San Diego. The next 2 were in San Francisco. Then the next 2 were in Philadelphia. You know, they used to do that every 2 years. It would move. Yeah. And then it came to L.A. and it fucking stayed here for 10 years. It's like, fuck, come on. Anyway, but the first or second year in San Diego, I got an invite, you know, or I think I remember Steve Swope saying, hey, there's a spot for you in street. I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to Evansville. You know, I'm going to NBL in Evansville, Indiana for the National, you know, and I pieced out, you know. And I look back at that now, like, what the fuck? I could have rode street in the X Games and I went to a race instead, you know.
Wow.
But
that probably would have been like World War II, like if they were letting like a dude like you who was like traditionally a racer into street, like can you imagine like that would have probably been like a really good like letter to the ride, letters section or something.
But street was different though. Street was park.
The
street he's talking about was Park. It's not
okay. I'm thinking of it a different way. I'm thinking of MTV Sports and Music Festival. Like I'm picturing him riding that next to the Gons and Troy McMurray.
Yeah. And I got some fucking. Can I read some? I got some Troy McMurray.
Hit me with some Troy.
I got some Troy McMurray.
Can I pee real fast? I have to pee real fast.
I'll listen. Yep.
Yeah, I got some Troy McMurray punching dudes, Gons running around naked.
Okay, yeah. Let's hear this one.
All right, let me see what we got. All right, so you know. This I'm just gonna flip through.
We got a half hour left, just for the record. And but I've never interviewed anyone who was more obvious that we should do a part 2 in the future. So just keep that in mind.
All right. So yeah, keep the time. So you know Spike Jones, right? Spike Jones. Yep. You know, he used to shoot photos.
Right. Yeah. Movies. Yeah. I got
this is just funny. This is back to 1991. Blah blah blah. Where is it at? It's 17th. I'm reading wrong. Spike Jones. Spike. I called him a fag. Let me see. God, I can't find it. Let me see here. Oh yeah. So, then I called Spike. I called Spike back. We talked for a minute, and he said he was going to call me back, and he didn't. What a fag.
Wait. So why would he get in touch with you?
Well, he worked for Go. He was a photographer.
That time.
Yeah, but just funny calling Spike Jones a fag. You know?
Fag. I like the unabashed language in there too. Fag. That's good.
All right. So January again, 1991, went to R.L. Osborne's house. Alan Foster and LaJuan Cunningham and I went to Bully at 5 p.m. We rode with R.L. Osborne, Perry Mervar, and Mike Daly.
Wow.
I learned how to catch air.
Wow. So you actually know the day that you learned how to catch air?
Yeah. I'd jumped and shit, but I never caught air in a ramp. So this is 1991. I was shredding and other shit too.
I was shredding.
At night we bought some coolers and we got drunk for no reason. I was riding with Perry Mervar.
Holy shit, the Perry Doom. Perry Mervar invented a trick called the Perry Doom where you stand on your back pegs with no hands and you jump to your fucking handlebars.
Right. Okay.
You remember Perry Mervar? He wrote for Bully.
I remember the name very strongly.
Yeah, if you saw him.
I remember it like from the Bully ads. Yeah.
All right. So here's another funny one. R.L. Osborne called in the morning and said he needed my Bully bike back for 2 weeks to make the production model. I took it apart and he picked it up. Salami took me to the Santa Ana clinic. I had crabs. From the fat girl, Janae.
Fucking Janae. Oh my God!
So, but wait, does that stand out to you in your memory now? Having crabs?
Hey, I got some stuff for it. Then we all went to the mall.
Do people even get crabs now? In the 90s, everybody had just bushes.
I don't know. Crabs, yeah. I feel like I haven't heard anyone talk about that ever. Maybe
nobody's got bushes in,
especially in the circles that you run in, and you've not heard that. Then crabs is non-existent in Los Angeles.
But wait, do you need a bush to get crabs?
Yeah, because they crawl around your hair. Yeah, they attach to your hair.
Well, that's a huge argument in favor of shaving your pubes then.
Yeah,
there you go.
I never even thought about that before.
Exactly. All right, so the 2-hip contest, La Jolla.
Oh, I remember this one. I wasn't there, but I remember the videos.
Who did hand plants in La Jolla? What?
On a sub, right? It was a sub. It was a crazy
ramp to sub to backside.
Yeah, that was before like a regular sub. It was like a launch ramp with a sub in the middle. The dudes would like launch over, do flip plans over.
But do you think you were the first person doing it?
Oh, hell yeah, he was.
No, I think John Taylor, somebody else in England was doing them
on vert though.
ish.
Right.
They were doing them on
yeah,
vert.
but I was
about
jumping.
topside
I
ones?
was like, bloop. You know, I was yeah. But I never really. I mean, my foot was off, but back then it didn't fucking matter. There wasn't.
Nobody was doing handball.
Well, you could kind of land with your foot on the ground, or just...
You have to see a photo because I don't think you understand what we're talking about. Like, imagine
we'll get some photos
a
of this shit.
kicker with a big block on top of it and another kicker, and he was launching over it, not like a sub, like a
jump
sub.
over and then whip it out and then hand plant. And so anyway, so listen to these riders too. So 2 Hip meet, and this is meet the street. 2 Hip meet the street. We all went to San Diego for a street contest. They had some cool shit. I entered in the good class. I qualified first and then got first overall. We had 2 qualifying runs and 2 final runs. Second was Evan Krakow. Third was Dave Clymer. 5th was Spike Jones. 6th was Fuzzy Hall. I pretty much pulled hand plants over the sub. It was pretty bitchin'. I'm going to be sore tomorrow and the next day.
Hell yeah. There's good footage of this that we can use.
Yeah. First time riding Sheep Hills. You know, we called them the Costa Mesa Trails.
Yeah, I was
back
reading
then.
that. Actually, that's funny.
We rode the POW house and then went to Costa Mesa Trails. They're like the sand tracks in Ohio, but way funner.
The sand tracks. I've ridden the sand tracks.
Oh yeah. Boom.
Give me one of these things. Let me look at 94 here.
That was the Macathon. We had a Macathon that night. So blah blah blah. Then at night we went on a DSR.
What's that?
Drunken street ride. Come on, you don't know what fucking DSR is?
I mean, I never abbreviated it.
Yeah.
I've done it.
It was funny. We ran from the cops and shit. And then the Macathon started. It was a contest between me, Lawan, Sal, Darren, and Jay Lonergan to see who can freak the first girl that is totally new. Nobody can know her. It's a $5 bet. Winner takes all. $20.
Freak. I like the use of the...
This is the 90s. This is the 90s.
Was Macathon like an extremely common term for you guys?
No, we just had a contest. This is the POW house.
But that's what I've always loved about TL is like his vernacular is always so hip hop. If you follow him on any social media, he's a product of hip hop.
I was reading some shit. It was like, yo, I was basing with these hoes.
But were you really like a big hip hop fan at a younger age?
Dude, yeah, for sure.
Hey, wait! Do you see the collaboration bike with SE Bikes that we're doing next year? That's what I'm going to say.
Oh,
Snuck the plug in there.
I want to sneak one of my plugs in here because do you know who this man is responsible for sponsoring?
Who?
RRDBlocks.
Really? Oh yeah.
That's your homie, dude.
We're gonna keep it contemporary.
Listen,
that's definitely something to mention.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I started following him when he had like 10,000 followers. I forget how I got put on to him, and he was just so positive in his videos, and I was like, this dude is fucking awesome. And then like Meek Mill was shouting him out, and like now it's just everybody knows who he is. So shout out to RRDBlocks.
140,000 something.
Dude, and
we've flown him to California a couple of times. We've flown him to
every
Florida,
time he's in Cali, every time I miss hanging out with him. And
next time,
people like BMX needs people like that because here is this guy that nobody's heard of that every day he's out in the streets, popping wheelies, having fun on his bike.
Dude, he's such a good guy. We give him stuff and he'll give it away to other dudes. You know what I'm saying? And the same, he sounds wild on when you see him like, "What's up, motherfuckers?"
What's up, motherfuckers?
But he's so chill. Like he'll come to California and he'll stay at my house or we'll hang out. We'll travel around for a couple of days. And he's like quiet, you know what I'm saying? He's just so chill. Like he's a cool, calm, collective guy.
Well, it's these Brooklyn guys, or actually he's an uptown guy. But I mean, he's when they're in their element. But then he
does rocket manuals. You do rocket manuals, you're all right with me.
Yeah, no, he's fucking rad. All right, let me find some other shit. All right,
I hope he's really from Harlem. If I'm going to say that, because I actually do not know. But he seems like he's from uptown, right? Yeah.
So me and Dave Clymer are in Sweden. We're in Sweden, right? We're doing blah blah blah. We're busting backflips and everything, and then we went to a half pipe
in Sweden.
Yeah, we're in Sweden, and then at night. But we were on our way home, and we stopped in another bar and caused chaos. Dave was pissing in the kitchen. I was breaking bottles and stealing bottled soda. I pushed a bouncer, and everyone got kicked out except me and another guy. The bouncer came back and had to drag me out. I tried getting back in. And I spit on another bouncer's face, and 2 of them chased me. I took off running through, and I threw a bottle at him, but missed. Funny. Sweden, and we're just fucking running.
I think it helps a lot too, that just your writing style in general, because you're just listing off the things that happened, and it's like no.
I also hope kids understand that Todd has gotten to this point in life through initiative. He doesn't give up. He gets thrown out of bars repeatedly throughout his career. He keeps trying to get back in.
That is no reason to give up.
So I'm creeping into 93, and 93 had I'm about to read them in a second, and it was just like, fuck you after fuck you after fuck.
Hit me with it. Hit me with it.
So this is 7. This is my notes. It just says club fight,
There's another one right here. I got a bar fight right here.
All right, I did some homework and bullshit. Bill let me borrow his car. We picked up, John Paul Rogers, right?
Yeah.
We picked up John Paul Rogers and we got beer. We went to the POW house and drank. And a bunch of us and the English guys went to Hell's Kitchen. It was a nightclub. It sucked. And then we went to the Australian Beach Club. It kind of sucked also. They were trying to kick Chris Muller out, and I ran and tackled a bunch of guys. I fell into the sand. On the volleyball court and had sand all over my face. Crazy fights going on. I punched some guy, knocked him down. Such chaos. Cops came and arrested Keith Traynor. The rest of us had to take a cab home. We got to the POW house and BS'd about everything and drove back to Bill's house and got home at 3:30 a.m.
What the
fuck?
So
Chris Muller's on the scene. Keith Trainor's getting arrested, This is just POW house shit. So this is in September, right?
Oh, yeah, Keith Traynor lived there, too, as well.
And is that like
he
every
never lived
night?
there, but he was not every night.
Not every night, but like lots and lots of partying, yeah.
So, all right. Then I almost rode for GT, blah, blah, blah. Then I got sponsored by Haro. All right, so now we're into November, all right? So November, this notes say, Hoffman contest, pizza face bitch.
Hold on 1 second. Yo, shut the fuck up out there.
Guys.
All right, keep going.
All right. So Hoffman contest, Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Do you know anything about these?
I was
No.
at this contest.
Have you ever heard of them?
The Hoffman Estates.
Yeah.
Sean McKinney headbutted Scott Powell at this contest.
Well, there was like a contest series, the BS. And it wasn't
The BS series.
No, it wasn't BS then. It was just called the Hoffman contest. Anyway, yeah, because
No, it was definitely BS.
No, this is 90. Anyway,
Yeah, no, it was the BS series because they did Orlando. It was pre-X Games, but it was BS series.
yeah. So the finals were in Hoffman Estates, ironically enough, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
There's a
So it's
contest.
unrelated,
There's
right?
a
it's very
skate park
confusing.
there. So
At Scrap Skate Park.
yeah. Scrap. You ever heard of Scrap?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Scrap. So afterwards, a zillion of us went out to some country-style bar. Matt Hoffman and Rick Thorne were there singing on stage. Too funny. That place closed, so John Paul Rogers and I and 2 ugly chicks went to another club. Everyone followed us. After a bit, they started kicking us out for no reason. On the way out, I called this mafia owner, the owner of the club, this mafia-looking guy, a pizza-faced bitch. He grabbed me, and a little fight broke out. I was in the ground. I got away. John Paul and I went to another bar with the girls, and then we went to their house and had some.
Yeah. Hey, would you describe John Paul as somebody who was like more than willing to take one for the team back in those days?
Yeah. There's talk after talk. Well,
I just get that vibe, and I just figured out.
No, there's talk after talk, like, well, and then John Paul, and then she was the fat friend, and John Paul came.
Yeah. He seems like he would probably be good for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So, all right, let me read some more fight shit.
Hey, you're always stuck with the same style of notebook, more or less.
Oh, yeah.
Prestige
26
Prestige worldwide.
26 years. 26 years.
Where do you buy these? Anything we need to know?
Online. I don't know.
Oh, online?
I just got sucked in, and I couldn't let it go.
It is quite prestigious. How do these things not bend? Jeez.
Bottle. Oh, you got my 90. You got 94.
94.
Oh,
He had a fight open right there that he was excited about.
I know. Let me read. Come on. Because this is part 2 of 90.
Fights. Get in here.
Come on. That was I got part 2.
We should probably leave some time at the end here to talk about. Well, I don't know, because to me it's like he's an obvious one that we should have him back in the near future.
Yeah,
maybe talk about stuff that's more modern. Maybe we could stay old school here.
We could talk about SE for now.
Yeah. We didn't. Yeah, I work for SC Bikes.
Yeah,
I designed fucking cool bikes. Fat Ripper. Have you seen the Fat Ripper edit?
What the hell happened with Big Daddy?
Hey, let me read about
Became
Darcy.
See, you want to read that?
That's part two.
Hey, I want to know this answer now.
No, we got more shit to talk about. Let's read about Darcy and stealing the cop car.
Yes, okay,
Hit us with
This
it.
is some legendary shit.
Hit us with it.
Yeah. I want to hear your rendition of 94.
Darcy Saducci. Sorry, Darcy
Santucci.
So he runs McNeil Bikes. He
Yeah.
started at McNeil Bikes with Jay Miron.
He's the guy who designed your stupid pivotal seat.
Exactly. That everyone runs. Yeah. So all right. So we're again another year, 1994. We're in Hoffman Estates. We all drank at the hotel, and a bunch of us went to a bar, and then we went to Dirty Nelly's. It was packed. Later, we started moshing and steamrolling. We used to lay on the fucking dance floor and steamroller people.
In the club.
Yeah, we didn't give a fuck.
The 90s, man.
Yeah. So some people got kicked out. Then when we were leaving, a bouncer wouldn't let one of the BMX guys go. He wouldn't let him go outside. So me and another guy were pulling on the bouncer and punching him. Then the cops came. Then a BMX Canadian guy.
So you didn't even know him
Darcy.
at the time.
No.
Oh, okay, right.
No,
yeah.
he wasn't Darcy McNeil. He
Right,
was just
yeah.
some Canadian. So then a BMX Canadian guy jumped in a cop car and took off with the cop car hanging on the side of it, or with the cop hanging on the side of it.
Holy fuck!
The cop fell off.
You don't know this one? This was on the show back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Hear it like this is amazing.
Yeah, the cop fell off. We all saw it and jumped in our car. Ruben Castillo and I were in the trunk. Then we drove back to the hotel and talked about the craziness. That guy got arrested. We got to sleep at 5 a.m. You know, that guy was Darcy, you know.
And he didn't get to come to America for a very long time as a result of that. Yeah.
10
No,
years.
he got shut down. Like, yeah.
But
Amazing.
shout out to Darcy for stealing a fucking cop car in Chicago,
fucking
dude.
A.
Yeah.
Fucking fuck.
Yeah, that's fuck. It was,
We
20
probably
years.
wouldn't be talking about it on the podcast right now if he hadn't done that. So thank God he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit me
Anyway.
with what else we got to do here?
And by
Yeah.
God, you mean Oprah Winfrey, correct?
Yeah. So we got 15 minutes left. Should we tell more stories about the book, or should we talk about I don't know, the evolution of TL?
What the fuck happened with Big Daddy? I'm just kidding. I don't.
I don't know.
I
Big Daddy's
don't
rad.
give a
Big
shit.
Daddy's rad dude. You know.
Yeah, hey, what happened with Chris Doyle?
You saw the potential.
Hey,
Why
happened with Chris Doyle?
Why are you bringing up old shit?
What happened with Chris Doyle?
Why are we bringing
Hey, he
up
started
old
getting a
shit?
little old. He moved to fucking Utah. you
Yeah,
know,
he
it's
got
like,
into
yo,
teeth, yeah.
well, you know, now he's got a kid coming. You know, it's like, hey,
Babe Daddy BMX.
yeah.
We gotta get Big Daddy back out here to do
Hey.
another.
For the
Hey.
record, just so this is saved for history, Big Daddy changed his Instagram name to Baby Daddy BMX, but spelled baby wrong. He spelled it Babe.
Hey,
You
Hey.
remember that? We all saw it, yeah.
Hey,
He's not
Great
Big
human.
Daddy's cool.
Oh, love him.
His
Yeah,
heart,
he's an
the
amazing
only
human.
the only downside of Big Daddy is his heart is so much bigger than his brain. That's just the one.
Yeah.
is
But what a
outweighs the
heart
other
it
one.
is.
Yeah,
Hey,
And
let
what
me-
a brain it is.
Hey, let me
Keep going.
Let
Keep
me
going.
get you in the 90s.
Let's,
Keep
you
going.
know, yeah.
94, right? Darcy stole the motherfucking cop car. This is the weekend before Thanksgiving. And you know what Thanksgiving is? You don't. You know what Thanksgiving is. It's the ABA fucking Grands.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the next week,
Oklahoma.
So I fly from California to Hoffman Estates or Chicago, whatever, do the scrap contest, and then I fly from there with my Haro Sport. You know, I think I did race my sport anyway to ABA Grands, and now we're at the ABA Grands. All right, and now it's Wednesday. All right, let me read about Wednesday.
This is Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City, Wednesday. Blah blah blah. At night, some of the Hoffman crew and other trick stars, and the trick stars is what I call the full-on pro racers, you know, the pretty boy racers. The Hoffman crew and the trick stars went out to a club. It was $5 to get in and free beer. There's a lot of BMXers. We were all acting silly, and later they were kicking Big Island out.
Yeah.
Who's going to kick fucking Big Island out?
Yeah.
This is a pre-tattoo.
Mike
Island now.
yeah, no,
Maybe he was a little less threatening then.
yeah. So they're going to kick Big Island out. So I was getting in it, and a bouncer got me in a headlock, and then we fell down, and we were rolling around. Mike King and Brian Lopes, who are two of the most professional, you know, top-rated BMX racers ever. And then Mike King and Brian Lopes were kicking the guy. I got up before him and punched him. And then all of a sudden, we were dancing again. Big Island still got kicked out. And then we left soon after before anything else happened.
What the fuck?
So
It
that-
seems like there was so much violence at this time.
So that's the next weekend, right? All right. So that was back-to-back weekends. You know, that was Chicago, and then it was Oklahoma. And now, a month later, we're at the Christmas race. You know the Christmas race, the biggest race of the fucking year.
Columbus,
you know?
Ohio.
So now we're at the Christmas race, all right? The night before the big fucking pro race. Let's see.
Is this the Jeremy Verhulst story?
No. All right, so now, you know, blah, 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 we're watching videos of the races. Then we went down on campus. We went to the Pit and Flyers. These are like downstairs, underground bars.
Right.
There was a ton of BMXers around. Later, Mark Losey and Chris Baines. Do you remember Chris Baines?
No.
Props. He was one of the original guys at Props.
Oh, okay.
Marco Marsai and Chris Baines from Props. Mark Losey, you know.
Yeah.
Mark Losey and Chris Baines and I, we were dancing silly, and a guy pushed Chris Baines. Next thing you know, I broke a bottle over his head, and a scuffle broke out. We all got kicked out, and then we shaded and walked around the back of the club. He was bleeding like crazy, and the cops were out front in an ambulance. Found out later he was a BMX racer from Florida who was in my motos. We ran back to the hotel and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I break the bottle over some dude's head.
And then you find out he's a racer later?
And then he was in my moto that weekend.
But did he ever know who you were that you recall?
Let me read this.
Oh, man. Because we're going right into the new year.
So now we're at February of the next year, right?
Let's see who it ends up being, right?
All right. So now we're at the Orlando, Florida play contest.
Okay.
Guy was from Florida, right? I said he's from Florida. He's a Florida BMX guy. Broke the bottle.
Where's the contest at?
Jacksonville, Orlando.
Florida BMX racer.
Just says Orlando. It was a freestyle contest, a play contest.
I have a feeling I know it's going to be.
Blah, blah, blah. Stephanie and I took a shower, blah, blah, blah. Went to the contest. Okay, so now we went to the park. This is on Sunday. I'd already competed in the contest the day before. I won. I fucking won. Anyway, then we were watching Flatland. Then Stephanie and I walked out of the car. I needed to change. Kevin Parr, which is the motherfucker's name, followed me out. In parentheses, this is the guy I broke the bottle over his head in Columbus. He was really amped up to fight me. So we started fighting. We did a good amount of wrestling and then a bit of boxing and standing around. He got the better half of me. Pete Augustin was standing right there. He said, "Yo, Todd, let me know if I need to kill this guy." so Pete Augustin helped him. Yeah, the fucking Pete Augustin helped.
Pete Augustin was the fucking bad. He was the Mike Hoder of BMX at the time.
San
Nobody
Diego,
fucked with him. He was like a pioneer of street riding, and everybody was terrified of. Shout out to Pete Augustin. He still rides. So
yeah, so he was like, "Let me know if I need to jump in," and he kind of helped, because the dude's like, "Yo," Anyway, the dude definitely got the better half of me. I definitely didn't win. I think I was too afraid to rope. I got my
yeah. Because I was thinking this is probably your rose-colored version of it, at least slightly.
It's all rose-colored anyway. Blah blah. I definitely didn't win. We ended up shaking hands and saying it was cool. And the dude later was like, "Dude, I've always looked up to you. You're always one of my favorite riders, But he had it, I fucking broke a bottle over his head. And he was, anyway, years later, when I'm spotting teammates with Corey Nastasio, Nasty knew the dude. He's like, "Dude, that dude's fucking crazy." Really? He's like, he's like, "Dude, you got under his skin. He would not let that go." It's like.
But could you really blame him, though? I mean, like,
no, it's cool that he still fought you.
He was showing me the scar on his face.
It's cool that you fought him. Like,
everything about this is cool,
But, I mean, that's literally I've been in so many barroom scuffles and so many swing, punch, die, duck,
Yeah.
That was the first time it's just 1-1. And he got me.
But I still think you got one up on him because you broke a bottle over his fucking
And because
head.
you were his hero. That's like, it's cool to beat somebody up who looked up to you.
I think he came back and gave me my shoe or something like that. Hey, dude, you're always my, yeah. So it was pretty funny.
That's amazing.
And you could have killed him with the ball.
Hey, but it was just that was the theme. You know what I'm saying? We got 90.
See, and that's that's a lesson to him. You don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. If you're not a fucking asshole, you're not gonna get your
Well, it was
bottle
weird.
broken over your
Yeah.
head.
Well, why was he fucking with fucking Mark Losey and Chris Baines from Prop?
why are you shoving somebody?
And every motherfucker is drunk at the bar acting like an asshole, and then they want to act like a saint later and tell everybody like, "Oh, so and so punched me in the face." It's like, no, I punched you in the face because you were acting like a dickhead and you had it coming. Exactly. But then they go and tell the story and they get all this sympathy because they are the world already knows you, so they get to put you in this box.
He deserved. He was amped for months, because that happened in December and it was in February. I was back down.
He knew that he was going to see you again.
No.
Sure.
Hey, I have a fucking weird visual memory of this. Like driving to the hotel the Friday night, because that was on Sunday. The motherfucker hunted me down. But Friday night or Friday after practice, we were driving back to the hotel. We're driving on, and there's a car next to us, and there's this dude just looking at me.
So there was a pretext to this.
Oh, he was. I didn't know it then, but it was just it was them.
He probably built
he was
that
like,
up
dude,
so much in his mind.
And like I said, he was nasty. He was like, dude, that dude is so fucked up in the head. He's been in jail, blah blah.
Yeah.
He's killed people, blah. It was like,
holy fuck.
Yo, can you give me like a nasty story before we have to wrap this up? Is there anything that comes to mind that would?
Ooh.
Jeez,
Nasty didn't give a fuck.
He cares about so little that it's almost hard to think of a story. Every day is a story.
Fuck, I only got 90. What is
okay, yeah. Forget
95.
about nasty. Give me one more story and then we'll wrap this up.
All right, home invasion robbery. This is some shit.
See, this is what I'm telling you, man. This
Dude,
stuff.
this one is gonna melt your mind.
We're lucky the cops never got a hold of this.
I just was looking at this earlier. I was like, "What's this?" And he told me the story, and my jaw hit the ground.
All right, let's go.
Huntington Beach, California, my hometown.
Yeah, 1995, right?
Where I live at.
So,
Not your hometown.
so I just got on. Actually, I'm a year into riding for Haro, but my bike got stolen at school, and they had to give me another bike. And I was like, "Fuck, can I get another bike?" And they just sent me another bike. I'm in the garage and I'm building it, blah blah, building it. You know, like I'm getting it all dialed in, riding around the circle, riding around the block, coming in. Then I come back in, in the garage, and I flip it upside down, and then,
And then ...
At night I was working on my bikes. While I was outside in the garage, all of a sudden 4 guys with guns creep up, and they shut the garage door behind them. Shit. They taped my hands and feet and mouth. They took me inside. They took Brian Foster upstairs. This is when I lived with Brian Foster. We were in a 2-bedroom apartment. 3-bedroom. I had my own room. Brian had his own room. And then LaJuan Cunningham and Darren Mitchell shared their room that they sold motherfucking weed out of. Anyway,
Word.
so...
AKA that loud.
Yeah, so...
Relatable.
Anyway, so I'm out there working on my bike, and Brian and his girlfriend at the time, they're inside watching TV, and anyway, so I'm riding around circles, come back, flip my bike upside down, work on my bike, and all of a sudden I look up and I hear click click, and I look up and 4 dudes are rolling in, all guns pointed at me, and the last dude shuts the garage door, and it's like my whole world went, and it's like fuck, and I thinking back, I never got that tripped out about it. I always was kind of cool about it, but. Anyway, so they shut the door behind them. Shit, they all got guns. They taped up my hands and feet and mouth. Then they took me inside. They took Brian Foster upstairs to find LaJuan and Darren's weed and money.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They couldn't find it. They hit him on the back of the head a couple of times. So then they had me go up there to look for it. I couldn't find it either. I was like, yo, this shit ain't mine. I ain't part of this. I don't know where it's at. Luckily, LaJuan came home before it got ugly. They took $1,500 and $1,200 of weed and various money from everyone. They took my $80 and my sunglasses.
Wait,
I was sponsored by Arnett at the time. They took my fucking goddamn Arnett.
So LaJuan gets home, and what does he do? Like, how does he resolve the situation?
Well, when the dudes came in, they shut all the blinds, they yanked down the blinds, they fucking locked the doors, they ripped the phones out of the wall, and then all of a sudden LaJuan's trying to come in, and they hear it, and they run to the door,
But they didn't try to do anything to him. They just took off.
No. When he came in, they grabbed him, pulled him in, and they took my $80 and sunglasses.
That's the scary stuff that can happen when you do or sell weed, Catfish.
Yeah.
This is before it was legal in California.
This is why we don't do that. Yeah.
Then they taped up everyone's hands and they left. It was crazy. They really didn't take nothing else. LaJuan and Darren caused the whole thing. I didn't freak out too much, but afterwards I had a little cry to myself. I needed it. I stayed up a while and everyone was talking about it. Needless to say, Darren and LaJuan ain't doing that shit no more.
Really? Do you think that was really the end of their weed selling career?
Well, no, that was we ended up all moving out. Like me and Brian Foster, we ended up moving to our own place. We were like,
because of that. That was the end of the era.
Brian really
his girlfriend at the time, he's married. Is married? Yeah, I think he's married. It's still his girlfriend. Married?
No, he's married.
No, he's married.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's the same one.
Yeah.
It's the same one.
He's
She's
been
probably
with
going to
forever,
trip when she hears this because she got fucked up about it. She really got in her brain or whatever.
Well, I mean, she ended up on the good side of the track. She got out of that situation.
She moved to Jersey.
She moved to Jersey.
But no,
She's got
it
really messed
with her. You know what I'm saying? So and so she was like, "I'll never step foot in that house again."
Yeah,
so
can you blame her?
So we moved. And then we just pieced out.
Well, hey, Brian Foster's wife, the trap ain't for everybody.
Yeah, very true.
Bad news.
It's still real out there.
And what was
it's still real in the trap.
What was so fucked is like me and Brian, we weren't doing. Brian probably obviously smoked a little bit. I didn't do shit. I was just riding my goddamn bike, and all of a sudden,
really
guns,
bad too.
Yeah, 4 dudes, and it was a white dude, a black dude, a Mexican dude, and what's that?
An Asian dude.
Yeah. Seriously, it was a
Rob dude, or that was your house?
No, the 4 dudes. Yeah, the 4 dudes that rolled in. They were each one of everything.
Well, see, that's rare too, because usually crimes are committed by the races. They sort of stick together for crime purposes, and then they come together for doing drug purposes.
Yeah,
that's what a couple tell you.
But I mean,
this was the super
nothing. We made it.
You made it out.
That could have been. I mean, imagine that fucking Brian Foster, Todd Lyons killed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
it could have
That
been.
shit
That could have
happens,
been
you know?
our massacre.
That shit
When I was
happens, like,
upstairs-
when Lawan opens the door, those dudes are
when
they
I
freak
walked
out.
up, when they walked me upstairs, actually, when they hopped me upstairs, motherfuckers had my fucking ankles taped and I had to hop up the goddamn
Yeah.
stairs. But when I was up there, that's when Lawan came in and they all ran downstairs again. And I picked up the phone and I started dialing 911 and then I hung it up, you know, because I was like, no, fuck, you know, I was like, I didn't, never felt that threatened, you know, I was like, fuck, that would have been worse, I think. You
Yeah.
know? And I literally started dialing, you know, and then I hung it back up, you know, and
Because you always got to remember they don't want to kill somebody. You know, like they wanted to rob you, they want to get money.
And when I was downstairs, like when the first 4 dudes came in, and then the 3, you know, they came in, their guns, blah blah blah. One dude grabs me, and the other 3 dudes run inside, and that's where only Brian and his girl were in there. The one dude's like, dude, we don't want to hurt you, we don't want to, you know, we don't want to hurt anyone, blah blah. We just want to come and get what's ours. You know, we want to get the money, we want to get the weed, we want to get out of here. You know, so I was like, I don't know. He like broke it down, so it was like I was cool with it. Like I never was like, you know. Anyway, but
Do you still remember what they look like?
Yeah, they were all different races.
No.
No, you don't want to do the police lineup right now.
This is 95. Fuck yeah.
So we just made it to 1995. This is a huge disservice to your career that this is all we were able to fit into the first episode of this podcast, but we got to try to stick to the hour and a half limit.
Yeah.
So we got to do this again, and we got to pick up in 1995 and on, because we did touch on a little bit after that. But thank you so much for just blowing my mind with various
I knew it was
stories
going
right
to be
there.
like this, and I knew that
Yeah.
we weren't going to have a lot of time. Maybe he can bring. I mean, he's got a wide range of amazing friends too. That if he wants to, when you come back,
Yeah.
bring somebody else. That's some good stories.
The late 90s, the 2000s, and not to mention what's going on right now. We need to touch
we
everything
barely
eventually.
got into the Huffy years, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's it. And I mean, I really wanted to pick your brain a little bit about, you know, you've been in BMX for so long, you've seen it change so much. You know,
Yeah.
BMX in 2015 is worlds away from where it was in 1989.
And I take pride, you know, that BMX is still my fucking life. I'm 40.
Yeah.
I'm 40. Almost. I'm gonna be 44 in a couple of weeks, whatever, you know. And it's like I work for a bike company now. You know, I work for SE Bikes. Like I design bikes. I go to Asia. I design the bikes. I do all the team manager stuff. It's like, you know, it's like BMX is my shit, you know.
Yeah.
And it's always, you know, there's a lot of dudes that's their shit, you know what I'm saying. But it's been my shit for a long time, and I think it's gonna be my shit all the way
It's not
through.
going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
You know?
And obviously, I've been a fan for a long time. The Ohio connection for one thing, but also like your social media is so funny because like
Yeah,
you know,
shout those out because we got to end this now.
It is. Well, I just want to
No
get
more
this out of the way real
questions.
quick. But his social media is amazing because there, a lot of people that work in bike companies will just go to the factories and come out.
Right.
Todd is riding the shit. He's having fun. He's out in the streets. He's still living BMX, and that's what I love about you. Give us your social media. What's your Instagram?
All right,
and
just
such?
just ToddLyons.com, you know, and or Todd, not ToddLyons.com. That's fucking 10 years ago. That's 10 years ago.
That was your 1996
anyway,
shout out.
Instagram / Todd Lyons, you know, Facebook Todd Lyons, and then you know I'm the brand manager for SE Bikes, you know, when it's been cool, you know, I've been doing that for 10 years, and this is what I do.
All right, so we're going to catch up with everything else on a later episode. I'll probably have you in the next couple months. Thank you very much, Catfish and Todd Lyons.
Thank
Follow
you,
him,
Todd.
subscribe
Thank
to
you.
the Come Up, and keep an eye. We're going to be doing big things, even bigger.
Skibidi-bop-a-doo-bop-a-doo-bop-a. Peace out from the Come Up TV. That was awesome. I knew we weren't going to be able to get enough stories in.